This is an interesting pick from IG. We really haven't been seeing the Viper a whole lot, but it looks like it's going to be a position 3 Viper going up against the Monkey King, which is a pretty solid lane. You don't have a support to purge off the poison attack as well, so Monkey's really going to suffer in that lane, and this now means that you have to be very cautious of IG what carry you go for though, because Team MagMa might look to go aggressive with an aggro try to dodge the Monkey Viper matchup.
They could, and it makes me think that this ET is more likely to be position 4, I think, because there is the threat, right? Like, if Viper gets out of position once, he's got terrible movement speed. You've got good mobility skills to be able to catch up to him just with the just 1 point in the Primal Spring. And you've also got the stun with the Boundless Strike. Silencer, if that's in the lane, can slow you down with the Arcane Curse. If it's Disruptor, he can just glimpse you back. So I feel like ET needs to be the one that's there just to put an Echo Stomp in onto any sort of deep, aggressive movements against the Viper.
Do you like IG's draft for the moment? Like, are you a fan of it?
It doesn't sound like you are.
I feel like this last pick, they need a lot. Like, a lot. They need some way to set up for Supernova. You need a Tower Sieger. You need a late game win condition as well, which they do not have. And also, I feel like you need more impact on that. Or I should say emphasis, because the Viper, he's going to heavily tail off. And you're already going to a huge team fight lineup that MagMa have. And now, now you put the Lifesteal versus the Viper. Now you put the Monkey versus the Ember. Like, screw going aggro. Like, let's just pick a hero that lanes well versus the Viper. Like, beautifully done.
And so what, you think this is a Monkey King mid against the Ember Spirit?
Yeah. So maybe now IG can play Fly, Ember, Viper 2, but that sounds pretty bad because then you don't have a way to win late game and you don't siege well. So maybe then you go for a 3 to take objectives, but like that sounds like, it feels like now they're in a really tight corner where it's very difficult to draft out of.
I'm still just going to say Spectre. I feel like they need to keep this Viper kind of like questionable, because like Spectre's a good matchup against the Lifestealer. It's decent against the Monkey King, and it's very good against Silencer and Disruptor. And yeah, you just need to put that Viper wherever the Monkey King is, you know, keep it flexible.
Hang on, Danog, we haven't thought about this. This could be the Somnus Lifestealer mid that we saw. It said this time it could be Dust playing it.
Okay.
I don't think it is. I really don't, but you know, I feel like we've seen it once. I feel like we're obligated to say that for everyone that didn't get the opportunity to see that game. I don't think it's, I really don't want it to happen. I just, you know, we're just gotta say it's happened. Elephant have tried it. They didn't do it successfully.
I'm liking Magma's bans though. Like, look at that. Just taking away the Fly Morphling. Troll instead, huh? But how do you start fights? That's my big question for IG. Like, it is a Tower Sieger. It is a position 1 that can somewhat fight into a Monkey King and a Lifestealer. But how do you touch the Disruptor? How do you touch the Silencer? Is everything just going to be on the back of this Ember Spirit?
Dude, go
feels pretty ballsy.
Pick a Pango here. Or go Silencer 3 and go for like a roaming 4. I feel like Pango vs Troll is dope.
And I mean, even Pango 4, right? It's pretty fine. You're good at roaming. What else have they got?
So the Troll gives him at least a late game win condition. We've seen it match up very well versus teams late game. Like we saw the Vici Ashta game go like 70 minutes and Troll was just could not die. Like teams were, he man fought everyone. And maybe again, like it's always touch and go against the Monkey King. If he gets Wukong's down and if he's like an item ahead, then it can be a bit different. But you know, Troll should play pretty well into him.
I'm not crazy about this.
It's
like
not.
This is a TZY Pango game, and he just didn't pick it. Like, have they been spooked off by their previous games? Because I feel like Phoenix can deal with it later on. Viper can deal with it. Ember Spirit could deal a decent amount of magic damage, and we've seen Troll Warlords, once they get locked in, even in the later stages of the game, onto a Timbersaw, they can deal with it as well. So
Surely the
I'm
play...
not sure how effective it's going to be in the laning stage either.
Surely the play was go Viper 5 and then put ET3. So then you have... Because Viper's not going to do much versus the Lifestealer. Then you put him versus the Timber, which is nice. That poison attack gives you some magic damage. I don't know how well it would have gone. I'm kind of just, half speaking out of my bum here, but I am also on board. I feel like Timber, they have answers to it. You've got the natural order, which is great versus a beefy hero like him. As the game goes on, you have the break on the Viper. Emo, if he wants to opt into Spirit Vessel, maybe Karkov, if he's got a good game, can go that route. They have the percent damage. It did get nerfed slightly. Also, Trollwaller late game is definitely not the worst hero versus Timber. You can... If you get that first hit bash or first hit root, then he's pretty much guaranteed locked in place, and that's really what you need versus him, and just to really minimize all the abilities that he can utilize. So there's stages where the matchup can go bad, the stages where the matchup can go good, and I feel like this is now leads us into an exciting game 3. Exciting game 2.
Yeah, you're already calling it for IG, huh?
No, I'm not.
I was feeling it for MagMa very heavily until that last pick, and if you're wanting to round out the draft, I'm not exactly sure what this Timbersaw is providing you here. Is he going to try and get in super deep and prevent the Phoenix from just free casting? Is he going to try and bait out an early supernova? The damage potential against a Viper is kind of high, I suppose, but I don't know. I feel like there could have been other heroes. I agree with you. Pango was the one for mine. Just provides you with that extra layer of control, even though you don't have amazing egg hitters right now. Like, Timbersaw isn't one. And I feel like you could just roll through the team fight and just say, hey, team, hit the egg. You don't have to worry about their heroes for a couple of seconds.
Well, I'm excited to see still nonetheless on how TZY can play the Timber, because I think we've been both very impressed with his performance when MagMa have been doing very well. So we'll see, Timber can be a bit of a hot or cold hero. He can dominate games, and then, some of the stages he can be a little bit lackluster. So I don't believe I don't hate this. This is kind of what I was speaking about, at least in the draft, on maybe putting the Viper as a 5, just so you had the way to lane versus the Timber. But in fact, they're just going to put JT into the Timber lane. So I actually like this a lot.
I wonder if that's the reasoning behind, because this is a very heavy Observer Ward committal around the mid lane from the Dire side. Like, did they just really want to understand how the lanes were going to be by MagMa first, so that they could have this appropriate matchup, like scout out if they were going for any kind of lane swaps? And Ollie's going to reveal himself, so nothing's too out of the ordinary, but then they're going to see this pesky Viper there and be like, hey, what's going on? This isn't meant to happen.
Yeah, I'd say the wards were meant for that, because, Monkey's not a hero that's really going to take the stacks in the jungle, and I feel like no one's really going to be farmed. You don't have, a position for Enigma, so to say, to take this farm. So TZY is actually going to be the first to TP down, which, again, we always say quite often, if you're the first one to TP, it can really ruin the musical lanes. So if they just want to follow Sloot on IG, then they definitely can.
I think JT, he's wanting to get a little bit of solo experience first. You can see here, Ollie, he's doing his best to stop Meow from just getting a free time in this lane. A Disruptor definitely isn't the one that you want to be giving a lot of this experience through to. A lot of early damage potential on him. I'll just be looking to fix things up and then change the lanes a little bit here. See Karka trying to man fight with Kaz a little bit. Makes things so difficult.
Yes, the Silencer versus the Phoenix matchup. We haven't really seen this for a while. Why was it traditionally known to be one of the better supports to deal with the Phoenix?
I mean, Phoenix is very reactionary, right? Like, there are very few times as a Phoenix where you want to be the one starting off a team fight. So if you're able to get in with the aggressive heroes that you've got, with the Monkey King that provides vision, with a Timbersaw that can go in first, you just pop that Global Silence and Phoenix melts like butter. As well, he's one of those heroes that wants to be casting a lot of spells in succession. So something like the Arcane Curse is great. It's just going to build up that extra penalty duration. And as well, even if you're making the aggressive moves on MagMa...
Is Emo dead mid? Oh my god, he is! I was watching this closely. I'm like, hang on, I don't think he's going to die, but Man, Disruptor! Hey, Meow's everywhere. The boots just getting the Thunderstrike range in, and that helped us to get the last right click.
All right. I have no idea how he's able to just fall down there. I mean, it shows the strength of a rotation, and well, all of those observer wards on the south side of the mid lane means that if it gets put onto the top side, any kind of rotations coming through from Mian, it's not going to be all that impactful. Nice double stomp coming through here by. He's going to have to run away a little bit. He's not level 3 just yet on Ollie, so I don't think he's going to have the damage to deal with him, especially with a nice kinetic field. Mian's playing real well here.
I don't know if Bai can still man fight Ollie, yeah. This lane, early on, like Lifesteal, it's probably a bit better in the safe lane too, because often you're going to be farming under your tower. It's a lot easier now for ET just to push the creep equilibrium back in your favor, but Lifestealer is going to need levels just to help out mainly with his sustain. Until then, it's not like you need many points in Rage because it doesn't reduce the cooldown like someone like a Juggernaut relies with the Blade Fury. So maybe once he hits level 4, level 5, then the lane might get a little bit easier. But the huge worry is always the early levels versus the Viper, as we're seeing at the moment. Man, this is a beefy man fight. Lifestealer just able to win it though before he falls. That was, you know, toe-to-toe here. You know, one more right click going in his favor could have been costly for Bai.
Never refuse gold given.
Man, just with the Astral Spirit duration being increased by 2 seconds, that means that at level 3, it's actually really impactful, right? Because you send it out for the longest time, it goes on cooldown immediately, then you send it back to you, and then by the time it gets back to you, even at level 2 with a 21-second cooldown, you've basically got it immediately available again. So it just makes for really effective at these early laning skirmishes on something like the ET there. And we'll see it, like, it's not quite as relevant just yet with Kaka and Kaz here, but as soon as he gets that point into the last word, even if you're making an aggressive dive onto a Phoenix, all you need to do is cast last word before he gets that Icarus dive off. And I mean, if he presses Q, you can't cancel the dive again, right? You just go all the way back to where the initial point was, and it just makes for a super easy kill.
Does look like though the bottom lane's being traded relatively well with farm, 29 to 6 compared to the 23 and 2 from TZY. Mid is the big X factor here though from MagMa. They've just completely shut out Emo from the lane. He was trying to take some stacks in the jungle, so this looks very free for Dust. But Emo's going bot level 4. Are they actually going to swap the lane?
Oof. That ain't good, especially if they're able to... Well, okay, they catch out TZY. It gives him a little bit of extra bonus gold funneling through his way.
Okay, well, yeah, like you said, if he's getting the kill, then he's probably happy with the rotation down to bottom. Meanwhile, though, top lane action continues. Spy's just going to shove back the Viper, but unfortunately for Mian, he's just got this briefcase, man, continuing to right-click.
Yeah. And Rage still quite a long cooldown, you know, only 3 seconds, 18-second cooldowns, so that's 15 seconds of downtime, and well, Ollie's looking to punish it wherever he can. I wonder if this is even a game where he opts to go for something that's just able to man-fight a lot more, you know, get that phase boost so that you can look the brawl,
wait,
you know, try
in
and pull him
trouble.
away. Not again.
Nice kinetic field. Dust, he just snagged the haste in front of Emo. They're preemptively tipping him as well. Looking to try and tilt him as early as possible in this second game.
Didn't even use the Searing Change, which I'm kind of surprised about, you know, before the Jingu had stacked up to maximum. You want to try and force out that Boundless Strike before you've got the extra damage coming through.
Oh boy, this is not the start you were hoping for the Ember Spirit. Is about 900 gold behind, and how do you make plays as well from your team? Viper's not going to, nor is Phoenix or AT, so it felt like it was very reliant on the Ember to have a good lane. Otherwise, their playmaking potential is very lackluster to bring them back in a game.
So I guess, like, the laning stage, of course, it hasn't gone anywhere near as well for Emo as they would have liked. So could they change things up a little bit? You know, I feel like you have to stay in this lane. You just need perhaps some more vision, some more rotations coming through. The stack is going to help. But is he going to play a bit more of the Rat Dota style, perhaps? You know, just act as this lane shove on the other side of the map, and then try and join his team when Fly is trying to take down a tower pretty early on. You know, I feel like you more now than ever need to rally around this Troll Warlord, rather than just rely on the Ember Spirit to be able to start all these team fights.
But when are you thinking if that's going to be the case of when he's being able to rat? Because that feels like it's 20 minutes in plus.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
but...
that's the big issue then, because like, how do you make plays now? Yeah, I feel like you have to play off the back of the level 6s from IG, try and drop them to, you know, win a couple of team fights here, bring you back net worth wise as JT top. I was trying to man fight the Monkey King the moment. He's currently winning it. At least if he can get the kill and sacrifice his life, he's probably happy considering how strong of a lane Dust has had.
I'm surprised that he didn't try and turn around and fight. I suppose he was in the Nether Toxin, so he wasn't going to get those Jingu Mastery stacks. That's the one thing about this Viper, right? Like, it's good against 3 of the heroes right now on MagMa. Lifestealer, whenever he's outside of the Rage, he's not going to have Ghoul Frenzy, he's not going to have Feast. Jingu Mastery, not going to stack up. Reactive Armor, not going to stack up. So Viper in itself is a good pick, but they're putting a lot of faith on JT, especially giving him up that safe lane farm.
TZY is going to be the next target here. He's going to run into Emo first. They don't have the greatest lockdown to continue with the break. He's actually just going to attempt a quick TP out. TZY, oh no! Where did he TP to? Was it to mid? That looked like it was a lot longer than I was anticipating.
Question, let me have a look.
Never refuse gold.
Release off to the side. They were able to clean off the Phoenix, so with 3 heroes from MagMa, they'll probably look to transition that into a tower. They still don't have the greatest siege, but I guess with 3 heroes, it should eventually get there.
Yeah, he was TPing the top, and it took him like 4.5 seconds.
Ooh. Great rotation from them. Meanwhile, it's giving some space. Ollie's picking up the 6. Phoenix, only 4 and about 3/4 at the moment, so he's going to rely on the Tome. I am intrigued on... Okay, so Viper's actually going to go Orchid. I was going to look to have a little bit more impact with this catch in that regard. Wait, is Emo going to Midas? Ooh.
Oof. I hope not.
Man, how's he so close to the Monkey's net worth?
Good question.
Monkey just got that tower, so bumped up a bunch, but pre that he was only about like 200 behind. Emo's done a very good job from whenever Monkey King's not showing mid, is instantly going there and trying to get what little lane creeps he can get.
And I'm sure he expects that his lane's got a lot worse than it actually has, you know, based off the net worth here. Like he's saving up a lot of money. This feels like a Midas that he's going into. Nope, never mind. He just bought his full magic wand.
Oh, it's the Armlet Ember. That's what it is. I forgot to tell you. It's a new trend. Yeah, you really don't seem too impressed by it.
What is he going? Is he going like... He's got the Windlace as well, which of course is important with being able to trade out against the Monkey King, but... Like, could he look to convert this at all into a Drums? I mean, Drums doesn't feel all that strong.
No, only time will tell for Emo is always a question mark with the play style and the itemization. It's always a loose cannon as well. Right now, it's coming into fruition here. Maybe the Echo Stomp can disrupt them for the little time to get Emo to safety, but the damage flowing out once Timber can get involved. And now they're going to look to try and chase down Ollie too. Pretty mobile with the Astral Spirit buff up, so Ollie will be okay.
Man, even just the little things like Dust's positioning there, you know, there's so much chaos happening. ET using the Echo Stomp very close to his real body, and the static storm happening, and Dust still able to sidestep perfectly to make sure that he's not being caught in it, able to clean up the kill onto Emo there. Kind of like I was expecting. Phase Boots finished up here on Ollie. He's going to act as like the pseudo frontliner, considering, you know, Ember Spirit, he definitely hasn't been able to reach that point.
Well, Dive feel strong, it looks like. They're trying to take a tier 1 tower mid very early. Dust at the moment doesn't have a level in Wukong's. Meanwhile, Karka's just getting solid by the Lifestealer. Okay, forced to dive, but they've kind of split the formation from IG.
No Dust's here, I think.
Fly on the high ground. There's no extra help coming through. Very interesting push.
It is, but it's forced MagMa to rotate in response, right? So it's not like they're farming in exchange. And every single hero is being conscious not to show on another lane, because that is just going to result in a response from the enemy team of just pushing their mid tower respectively. So Dust, he's been able to pick up this little stack off to the right side. He's just looking to build up into that early BKB. You know, why not? You're going up against something like a Viper, so unless he commits the Nether Strike the Viper Strike onto your you're going to be just fine. You know, you're going to be able to get rid of it immediately. You're not going to have to worry about the slows coming out from the Phoenix, and of course the Stomp. Not something that you're all too concerned about either.
Which team do you feel like is going to have the stronger team fight as we get into like the mid game here? Because it does look like either team have some some big ultimates that usually are an X factor. Is Kaka? Oh, he's going to have to drop the supernova. This is kind of the nuisance of the disruptor, that you're always going to be able to catch him out. Once he dives away, he should be in range. Dust. Oh, this is a big pickoff if they can find it. Corrosive is actually stopping the tree dance, but they're not going to continue to hunt through that tree line. And now with Dust showing bot, maybe it forces Miamian to end up costing his life here, but MagMa still continuing to come over, and there's the last word coming into play.
Just a cheeky dot. Was it MagMa that with the dot?
Yeah,
team?
that's what I was gonna say right now. Were they the team that was getting a little bit spicy with IG as well? That may have been.
I mean, the 100% win rate says it all, you know?
Yeah. It feels like they're in a pretty solid position as well. I mean, the net worth isn't in their favor, but with how they've been playing it, it looks like they're a little bit ahead, I'd say, in terms of IG.
On your point from before, I feel like the team fight, for mine, it still goes to MagMa. You know, being able to combo together Static Storm, Wukongs, and Global Silence just feels way too busted right now. They're going to pop TZY onto the front lines. He's got the Hood of Defiance, so he feels like he's going to be tanky enough to be able to stop anything. Dust has to be careful not to be too close to, you know, a retreating TZY, because if you're standing on that tree, end up killing your own teammate.
Never refuse gold given.
Echo Stump's not the greatest way for them to start. They're going to have to rely on Emo. A drag back on Firefly inside the Wukongs, but luckily enough, he was able to get the battle trance before the glimpse, but still Firefly getting chunked down. It has given them enough space, however, for JT to go to work. He'll kill off the monkey. He's going to try and target the life stealer. Simultaneously, Emo is dealing with the backline as well. So for Invictus Gaming, a strong showing in this early team fight should net them a 4th kill, but he actually jumps back away on the life stealer, recognizing he doesn't have enough damage in the tank to kill off by TZY, however, is actually just going to go for a straight up TP up on the high ground this time. It won't be too long of a duration here. Kaka, he's got the supernova. Is he going to get it off? No. One last swing from the life steal will claim the life. Oh, nice dodge of the glimpse from Emo. Very cute, but I don't think it's going to matter here. He's just got to be so careful with that armlet toggle. Okay, he's going to cancel. Rage. He doesn't have enough mana now because he TP'd. Oh no, bye.
Bye. I've been listening to a lot of NSYNC lately, but they're making an attempt here onto the Troll Waller. They know they don't have the battle trance available, so he should be looking
That could be a good Earth Splitter. Oh, unfortunately, doesn't stay alive long enough as MagMa can kite. They can get rid of Kaka. Okay. Dodges the glimpse again with the supernova. They're trying to target down the egg. Do they have the right clicks? They don't. JT will kill off the disruptor. They got the Yules to cancel the silencer right clicks as well. Another person coming in to dodge the glimpse, man. What a play from Kaka.
Really nicely done. And, you know, being able to get off the fiery spirits onto the right targets, and you know, Emo, even though he had a rough early game, able to pick up that Yule Scepter, prevent the egg from being popped there. Just all these little extra tiny little kills ramping up more and more. They still haven't lost their tier 1 mid though, so even with all of this mid lane control that IG seem to continuously be taking, I mean, sure MagMa haven't taken the one on the enemy side either, but it's still looking like a decent spot. Either team's game still, and it's just going to come down to the execution again. It's just the small things, right? Like popping the battle trance before. Oh.
Orchid from the low ground.
Orchid.
Is he going to be tanky enough to survive through the Orchid duration? Global Silence even just trying to protect him for as long as possible, but it's not enough. And now with a big ultimate committed, we might see IG look to connect to try and take this tier 1 tower. No, maybe they can connect to find Mian. This disruptor. Food for Emo as he's got himself officially a game. I was very worried that Emo, with how his lane was looking, he was going to suffer, but he has done an incredible job to catch back up.
Yeah, I mean, the Global Silence was just dropped too late. It's coming down to execution for MagMa right now. They,
A subtle burn.
if he dropped it earlier, the Viper Strike doesn't happen onto him, right? It's as simple as that, and Bai probably gets away, but instead, you have a dead Lifestealer, you have a useless team fight for the next little bit. Sure, you've still got the Wukongs and the Static Storm, but it's just ramping up the difficulty score.
Feels like with...
And again, TZY, like, he took tier 1 tower top, right? But that felt like it was most of the team that ended up doing that. Actually, when they took that tower, that was when he died, right? On the bottom side where he tried to TP up to help with that top push. So he didn't even do that job. So it still feels to be like, what has Timbersaw accomplished this game? Not much, in my eyes.
Yeah, maybe the presence might start to flow through once BKB is picked up for these fights. It'll definitely increase his survivability. Bai? Gotta be careful. He popped Rage in the middle lane and he couldn't have this escape avenue. Kaz is just gonna blindly run into the Echo Stomp. But wait, are they gonna be okay? Kaz is still getting chased down. And it looks like they'll at least get the silencer. I thought Lifestealer was slept up. How did he get the infest? Did they wake him?
I guess so. Maybe the tick damage coming through from the Fire Spirits, the Sunray.
You are most gracious.
Man, BKB and Maelstrom completed now. So these are some more item timings following up. They can kill off Kaka.
Alright.
That's a valuable target to get rid of to start the fight. But the Timber's in trouble. They're going to try and lay down the Wukongs throughout the jungle. But where's the control to lock them in? JT doesn't have the mobility like the Ember Spirit, so unfortunately he'll be the sacrifice here. So at least they find 2 for the cost of TZY.
Yeah, a bit of a shame that they didn't have extra vision because Emo was very low on mana. He'd used all of his remnants. He only had about 100 mana remaining. He had used the Yule Scepter, no bottle sips, so it was a kill gone begging a little bit there, but it just shows how effective a Viper can be if he's able to get in onto the Timbersaw super early in team fights, because that, I think he only had 1 reactive armor stack up that entire time.
It still looks like the JT Viper's also trying to scale into the late game. Like his Orchid, Dragonlance, even went for the spell lifesteal as well in the talent. So, you know, if you're trying to scale, we often see that you kind of synergize it with the attack speed and 70 damage, but he's just looking to be this beefy man so he can tank up through as much damage as possible. Dust. Great position to pop the smoke. They know he's there though. Just jumps down before they destroy the tree. Man, what a boundless! Holds in 3. Global Silence follow up as well, but Fly, he can stand his ground with the BKB pop. Battle Trance as well, but the damage, it's getting heavily mitigated at the moment. As Fly still trying to find the backup here. Doesn't have the assistance once again. Now with all the ultimates wasted, the Supernova, they aren't able to directly bring it down, and it's going to end up popping, stunning up the monkey, along with the lifesteal. What a placement from Kaka. Means that MagMa just can't go into the team fight prowess. They're looking to escape here from the lifesteal, but caught out once again from the chains. He's unable to man fight. His Emo is wicked sick.
It just felt like in that team fight they didn't have any direction, you know? The Supernova was popped. It was in an okay position where it wasn't going to die, but they were in 2 minds as to whether to go for it. And again, the Timbersaw, I'm not feeling the impact. You know, good burst damage to be able to start out a lot of these team fights, but TZY spent most of the time on the left stairs there in the triangle camp, not doing anything.
And Roshan giving up for free. Fly will take... Oh, they got the Echo Storm? Oh, BKB on cooldown for TZY.
Yeah, the touch
He's
is down.
ultra dead as a kill into Roche and then into another kill as IG continuing to accumulate a 6,000 net worth lead.
I'm just going to go back to it. I don't think this was the pick. Timbersaw was not the last pick. You know, last pick of the entire draft. You had a great setup for something that was going to be really effective in team fights. But, you know, unfortunately, just picking this into, like, they picked it into a Viper. They picked it into a Phoenix that is very capable of dealing with it. And, I don't know. It feels like IG are punishing it fairly well.
Oh, is there any items that we can keep our eyes out here for MagMa to kind of revert the direction that this game is going in?
I mean, it's gonna. They've got two choices. You know, they can go heavy team fight and back themselves in for being able to beat out IG. And I would still say that in terms of their abilities for team fights, they're still a little bit stronger. They just haven't executed all that well. Kaka, is he gonna be in a little bit of trouble?
Static Storm laid over the Phoenix, so TZY showing up with the damage here. Forcing Fly to BKB TP out. It will be a full coverage there, so he's got the escape. The only issue is now the backline once again by finding multiple heroes with this long-range stunning catch. Unfortunately, the stuns afterwards aren't flowing through to lock in Emo.
Again, though, it was again, they've got strong team fight, right? Like, it cost them a Static Storm, sure, but it's well worth it. You get a BKB out of your Troll Warlord, you lose 2 heroes, and whenever you've got a Silencer lineup, those kills are worth their weight in gold. You're just bumping up the intelligence that you're stealing away, especially if you're able to get those kills onto the Troll. He's died twice so far. I don't think, maybe one of them was a result of the Silencer being nearby, but his terrible int gain is going to cause him to suffer if he ends up feeding his life away too many times.
I'm still just so surprised, like, with how rough that mid lane went, the fact that Emo's ahead of the Monkey King, I think, huge props to him with how he's been able to, you know, drag back a game and in fact, not just have an okay game, have a really, really solid game. And, you know, we were questioning, at least, you know, I was especially bringing up, like, I'm worried at how they start the fights if Emo has a rougher game, but now with all this net worth lead, he's got BKB, the next itemization, might even be an Aghanims next to just further disrupt someone like a Disruptor or a Silencer, because they are heroes that, you know, really don't want to use their ultimates preemptively.
TZY did a good job pushing out the top side, so we'll see if they choose to respond to it on IG. Looks like they're just grouping up around Fly as he looks to make the most use out of the last 2 minutes of this Aegis. We've got a smoke coming through. Lifestealer might be looking to get inside someone with the Infest. Okay, bye. Immediately goes out of the Infest, so their team fight's ruined.
Dire. I sword Kaka, what a position. Pops the smoke instantly. Static Storm now wasted. Imo popped the BKB before the Global Silence. They're actually able to drag back the Phoenix as well, but they haven't burst him down through the Supernova. They now need a target with the Wukongs. It might give them some coverage to kill off the egg, and it will do so, but the issue is the backline's getting ripped apart, and Fly is the one doing the dirty work. As he'll catch out the Lifestealer as well. A triple for Emo, and TZY as the dust settles is the sole survivor.
Like you mentioned, great positioning, making sure that the Static Storm wasn't all that impactful. And yeah, I'm not sure if you caught it on camera or not, but they grouped up around the mid lane. They wanted to respond to the push into an Aegis. It's kind of ballsy, but you know, they wanted to do it anyway. They smoke without the Lifestealer. They back up twice to try and get him inside someone. It ends up being the Monkey King, and then he just pops the consume portion of the Infest straight away, so that it's completely worthless. And then suddenly they don't have an extra, how much is it? 1200? 800 HP bonus in the middle of a team fight, which ends up costing Monkey King his life. If he lives for another 2-3 seconds and that Wukong's command is able to do its thing, then maybe they don't lose a melee Rax.
For MagMa, it's scary territory to be able to come back into this now. I mean, the farm is just not continuing to show through these fights. Lifestealer is a hero who can't really keep up in the farm like someone like a Troll Warlord. It's really showing the net worth, unfortunately. Thought the power of the lanes would have enabled them here to scale that first item into a second one, but they are very, very far behind. And Maybe just have to hope of now a mistake coming through from Invictus Gaming.
And keep in mind, this is Fly. Look at his build, right? He hasn't gone into a more farming style with, you know, an S and Y to bump up his movement speed or anything like that. He's only got the Maelstrom. He went Maelstrom, BKB, Basher. So he's all in on just doing as much damage in these team fights as possible. So the fact that he's still got this farm is just a testament to how good his farming patterns are when he's got the chance and taking the appropriate team fights.
Dude, somehow Oli has a an Aghanim Scepter. I don't know how he's got in this farm.
What do you mean somehow?
I don't know how he's got this farm. Who they called mid? Timber really doesn't want to pop BKB. He might be forced to though. The put okay, just gets ripped apart before an opportunity.
All right, Ollie, he's even got the Brigand's Blade available. So the weak will get weaker. Already got good attack speed. He hasn't even talented into it yet, so it's... You thought Ollie was scary before. Like, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh damn it! Emo got rid of the value glove. Come on, man. Now I gotta look up how much attack speed the glove of haste gives you.
Feels bad, man.
Too much work.
It's 20.
Yeah, thank you. You're a bit too late.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
So close to getting the tree. I don't know how Dusk gets this kill. Are they actually smoking to head to top? No, they're just gonna do the look at all run right through the wards. They're tipping in. Lifestealer?
I'm not sure Bias like, save me. Bring me with you. Are they going to be able to get any kind of disrupt off? No. The Basher on Fly not able to get there in time. I think he was the third TP in, so just took him a little bit long. So, I mean, that's something going MagMa's way. They've taken a tier 2 top. The Observer Ward placed up there is going to stop a few more of these cheeky Dust Monkey King plays if he does attempt them in the future. So that's nice, kind of future-proofing themselves. But, well, they're making a pretty deep rotation in together. Of course, the Ember Spirit, he's trying to finish up that Aghanim Scepter. Wants to be able to quickly join in on his team.
Alright, this is how I see MagMa back in this game. The Aghanim's on. It's going to be so huge versus the BKBs and even the Yours as well for the Ember and the Troll. So if you can actually get that Static Storm down, maybe they might be able to take the fight. He's even got the +2 seconds with the duration, so... Only issue is TZY might die in a identical spot to where he fell previously. Or maybe he's just gonna kite the enemies to where the rest of his team are. Cutting back the Troll Waller. Can they burst it through the stun lock? Oh, just in the nick of time. A BKB battle trance fast enough. They're going to still try and stand their ground and man fight through the Wukongs. But Troll, now without the protection through the itemization and the abilities, he's going to end up falling. But Dust, oh, chunk down. Oli, there's the Aghanims coming to fruition. And Emo, once again, ultra kill for him. I mean, you can deal with the Troll Warlord, but you can't deal with the Ember. A rampage to close this out.
It was a good rotation by IG. You know, they set up for it on MagMa to the best of their ability, but Disruptor, like you mentioned, he was so desperate to be able to get into that Aghanims because of the BKB turnaround potential, because of the Orchid, because of the Yule Scepter. They needed to try and take away something, and it just meant that he wasn't there for the start of that team fight, and by the time he turned up, the fight was over. You know, as soon as the Monkey King dies, it felt like that was almost all of your damage coming through on MagMa. And I just want to have a quick look in the post game. How much did Monkey end up doing? Yeah, I mean, it was the most on the team. Lifestealer, basically a complete non-factor this time around. And yeah, that TZY Timbersaw pick, I'm not sure the reasoning behind it. Like, you might have a look at his KDA and think, oh no, it wasn't a terrible game. And honestly, like, it wasn't, but it could have been so much better. Like the heroes, like Nightstalker was in the pool. You had Pangolier in the pool. These heroes that are able to get in onto the likes of an Ember Spirit or a Phoenix and actually just completely take them out of a team fight, but never ended up happening.
Yeah, I think big props to how IG were able to still come back out of the lanes. It looked like Emo was going to be in quite a difficult game overall, but in the end, I mean, he went 18-3-7, just absolutely popped off after the laning stage and with what little farm he could get. And also, I mean, the supports were starting to enable him. Like, he got a couple of juicy stacks thanks to Kaka, and he was very impressed with how he was able to have a game and overall how IG were taking these fights. And well, they're not going to go down without a battle though. We saw MagMa previously. They were 3-3 in all games versus IG. Now they're going to go 3-4. So the one game loss here, it could cost them, because IG feels like they're growing in strength heading into this third game. The momentum is now on their side, and potentially MagMa, with the backs up against the wall, they could be the first team now eliminated from I-League Season 2, or it could be IG. Stick around to find out.